Stop right there, you car-stealing scum! That's what Victoria Kane, our HOA queen bee, yells at me at the crack of dawn, her voice piercing the quiet suburban streets of Willow Creek like a siren on steroids, waving a sprinkler like it's a loaded gun, snapping pics of my beat-up Toyota Corolla as if she's CSI's top investigator, convinced beyond a shadow of doubt that I've swiped her old ride. I'm just sitting there in the driver's seat, my coffee steaming up the window, heart pounding not from fear but from the sheer absurdity of it all. Because what she doesn't know is that this thief is the last guy she'd want the cops sniffing around, and this whole mess is about to unravel her little empire of terror. It all started about 2 years back when my Aunt Louise, sweetest lady you'd ever meet, spent her life tending a flower patch that could make Martha Stewart jealous, got hit with a bogus $20,000 emergency siding repair bill from some phantom company called Kensington Contractors, which, spoiler alert, turned out to be as real as a $3 bill. Victoria cooked it up using her old family name, thinking no one would connect the dots. And poor Aunt Louise, fresh off losing Uncle Ted and dealing with that insurance payout, couldn't scrape together the cash. Next thing you know, foreclosure papers show up, her health tanks with anxiety-fueled panic attacks, and she's shuffled off to a dingy assisted living spot, leaving behind 35 years of memories in that cozy bungalow. I was furious. Family's everything to me, and seeing her broken like that lit a fire I couldn't ignore. So when her complaint landed on my desk at the precinct, I volunteered for the undercover gig, posing as her nephew Jake Harlan, the laid-off welder come to help out, while secretly digging into Victoria's web of scams, building trust with the neighbors over backyard barbecues and fence fixes, all while watching her lord over Willow Creek like some twisted suburban dictator, finding folks for overgrown lawns or unauthorized bird feeders just to line her pockets. Victoria's always been the type who craves control. Grew up in a messy family, I learned later, always fighting for scraps. So she clawed her way to HOA president, turning it into her personal fiefdom, targeting the vulnerable like Aunt Louise because they were easy marks, no kids to fight back, just quiet folks trying to age gracefully. That morning, though, as I pull up to visit Aunt Louise, engine still humming, dew sparkling on the hood, she spots the jagged starburst dent on my bumper, a souvenir from her own fender bender back in 22, and her face twists like she's seen a ghost. That's my star dent. I remember every inch of that scratch. Parking lot mishap. Cost me a fortune to ignore, she screeches, dropping to her knees in her silk robe and pearls, ruler in hand from God knows where, measuring it obsessively. 9.7 inches long, 2, 4, wide angles like a damn constellation. While I'm playing dumb, hands up. Ma'am, easy now. I got this at a police auction fair and square. No idea it was yours. The irony hits me like a gut punch. Her old Corolla, sold off in a panic 8 months ago for $10,000 cash when the heat from Aunt Louise's complaint started simmering, ended up confiscated from some low-level crook in her fraud ring, then auctioned to me as part of the setup. A perfect trap baited with her own paranoia. She's circling the car now, hose nozzle aimed like a weapon. Get out or I'll wash you away, thief. This is harassment, pure and simple. Her voice cracking with that mix of rage and fear, eyes darting like she's expecting hidden cameras. And inside I'm chuckling because, yeah, lady, it kinda is. But not the way you think. Neighbors start peeking out. Old Mr. Ellis from down the block, the young Ramirez family with their toddler in tow. And I can feel the tide shifting, my months of quiet chats paying off as they murmur about Victoria's crazy spells. But I stay cool, pulling out the auction papers. Look, everything's legit, signed and sealed. Happy to clear this up. Then she dials 911, voice hysterical. Emergency! My old car's back! Someone's tormenting me! And the dispatcher sounds baffled. Ma'am, you sold it legally? Which only amps her up. Yes, but this guy's using it against me. Psychological warfare. And I'm thinking, oh honey, if only you knew how right you are. But keep talking. Every word's gold for the recorder tucked in my pocket. Officer Ramirez rolls up. My backup. In on the op, but playing stranger. And he eyes the scene, notepad out. Step back, ma'am, as Victoria thrusts her phone pics at him. See? My dent. He tracked it down to mock me. Ramirez nods gravely, checks my docs. Vehicle acquired legally, sir. And her face pales when he mentions the auction tied to a fraud bust. Previous owner info sealed, ongoing case. That's when Walter Green, the retired accountant who's been my secret ally for over a year, sharp as a tack, been compiling dossiers on Victoria's scheme since he smelled something off with his own $5,000 tree trimming fine, steps up with his binder, thick as a phone book. "Officer, we've got records here. Fake invoices, targeted seniors over $150,000 siphoned." Victoria whirls, hose spraying wildly. "That's confidential HOA biz. Focus on the car thief." But Walter's unfazed. "Victoria, you bragged about selling that Corolla last summer. We all saw the cash deal." The crowd swells, whispers turning to nods, and I sense her grip slipping, her empire built on intimidation cracking under the weight of collective memory. Enter Lieutenant Hayes, summoned for the escalating drama. He strides in, badge gleaming, taking in the chaos. Me calm by the car, Victoria ranting, Walter's evidence spread out like a buffet of guilt. "Let's see those docs," he says, flipping through pages of phony bills from Kensington contractors, linked to Victoria's maiden name, dissolved right after payouts, and stories pour out. The Ramirez's fined for non-compliant playground equipment they never installed. Mr. Ellis hit with plumbing fees for work that vanished. Victoria snaps, "These people are deadbeats. Old folks like that should downsize anyway. I'm keeping standards high." Her cruelty hanging in the air like poison, and the neighbors gasp. But it's Aunt Louise's arrival that seals it, shuffling up with her cane, eyes locked on Victoria. "Jake? Is that the woman who stole my home?" Aunt Louise asks, voice steady despite the tremble, and Victoria points wildly. You're behind this setup, complaining old hag." But Aunt Louise stands tall. 2 years ago, you slapped me with that siding scam right after Ted's insurance came through. Knew my mortgage due date, timed it perfect to break me, lost my flowers, my peace, my health, all for your greed." The crowd erupts in murmurs, Victoria's mask shattering as she blurts, "I researched everyone, knew your weaknesses, easy targets with no fight left." Admitting surveillance that Hayes latches onto like a shark. "Ma'am, that's illegal prying." Her demands backfire. "Run the VIN federally, prove it's mine." Begging for probes that'll trace back to her laundered cash, her panic peaking as Hayes radios in, confirming the chain. Sold for quick bucks, when whispers of investigation hit, seized in a linked bust. I see the moment. Her eyes widen, realizing the trap, and I step forward, badge out. "Actually, folks, I'm Detective Jack Reynolds, Financial Crimes. Been undercover a year, sparked by Aunt Louise's case." Gasps ripple. Victoria shrieks, "Cop! I called the cops on a cop!" And the laughter's cathartic, her hose dropping limp as Hayes cuffs her. "You're under arrest for fraud, abuse, laundering, the works." She fights all the way to the car. "What about the arrested guy with my Corolla?" Entrapment. Still fixated, ironic as hell since that trail loops right back to her. As she drives off, Aunt Louise hugs me. "Knew you were more, kid. Real nephews don't case neighborhoods like pros." The neighborhood heals fast. Walter elected president, fines reversed, $150K restituted. Aunt Louise back in a cottage, planting daisies with the kids. Victoria, 8 years inside, kitchen duty at 50 cents an hour, her kingdom now a cell block. Promotion came my way. Task force on HOA scams busting more like her. But the wins in the smiles, the freedom. Yet here's the twist that nags at me. Was Aunt Louise's walk-up that day pure chance? Or did she tip the scales knowing my cover? Makes you wonder about hidden hands in justice. What do you think? Fair play or overreach? Drop a comment. Ever dealt with a neighborhood tyrant or question if ends justify means? Share your take. Hit like if karma's your jam and subscribe for more real-life twists.